Well, hello. Again, hopefully all of this works. It may not. But I have a nice cup of coffee, and indeed, I even made some changes since last time. That's right. We got some new voidlings here, which may be interesting. Failing that, I have slightly redesigned the shop as well. And there was also even a gold generator. That's right, you can click this handy button, and it just works. Well, I shouldn't have done that, because now all those picojoules I saved up have been turned into gold coins. I don't need them. I mean, I guess I'll spend them, because why not, but you know, I actually want to get to the unlock. Oh well. Well, that was fast. It's about 2 minutes and I've already clicked a button I shouldn't have, so I guess I'll just spend some of this. Yeah, why not? Let's get some movement speed and some health. Hello to Lucifer. Nice to see you on this fine morning. I woke up half an hour ago. But I have a cup of coffee. And I'm doing quite well. You may or may not have been able to hear me even sip that cup of coffee for an excellent audio experience. But okay, here we are then. So I've got this empty space here. I assume you can see my cursor on the screen. This empty space in the picojoule shop. Not 100% sure what to do with it. I mean, the obvious idea is to just make more upgrades, like this one, and then to put them side by side in a grid, something like that. But I was thinking that's I don't have any more upgrades to add at the moment anyway. So I thought, here's a different idea. What if I take each of these guys? Well, you know, I put them in a list. And you get the option to deplete their levels and the name tags and the custom colors and gain picojoules again. Because at the moment, I mean, how are you supposed to get these things? You can feed these guys if you wanted to, or you can wait for them to generate them on its own, but it takes a while. It does take quite a while. So I thought maybe, if you're in a rush or if you're desperate, the best thing to do would be to have this nice menu here that allows you to drain them, as it were, to get all of those points back out. So I'd have to come up with a conversion rate. I mean, for some of them, I mean, even this one, it took me a long time to get up to level 427. It took me a while. If that only gives me about 400 picojoules, it's not going to be worth it. Now, if it gave me 4,000 picojoules, that might be more worth it. But then you have this one. Would I really be comfortable with getting 32,000 picojoules? Well, no. It seems like I'm probably going to have to come up with an alternative, well, a very variable conversion rate. Which is possible. It's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. I can certainly do that. I mean, really, all it is what, a dictionary or something? I can do that. I have like a million dictionaries. That'll be super easy. But the hard thing is, how am I actually going to do this menu? I mean, I'm sure it's possible. I can do something. I've made a mock-up, which I can show you right now. All I have to do is unhide it, in fact. Voila. But it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look that good. This is kind of squashed. This is all just one button. I would like there to be, you know, make it look like each one is a little entry. You know? A little bit more like this. Just a little bit. I mean, that could be quite good. So, say something like, if I do copy this exact format, which I could do, there's nothing, that's not illegal, I could have the little square with the Greek letter, or the Greek name, and then where it says the price, I would have the level. Now, I could also have this bit be the picojoules. It'd be a bit weird, I gotta say. It'd be a bit strange. I had the idea I could stick the actual name in on the side, and that might be nice as well. It's a little bit more interactivity and integration. I think that could be quite good if I had the name on the side. Obviously, I'm thinking I might have to stretch this menu a little bit, which is also fine. I expect it to eventually be a decently large menu, but you know, I'll figure it out. Let's have a look. Let me just think. What is the best way to even start? I'm sure there is a way. I'm thinking, do I start off? Well, I have this mock-up. I'm not super happy with it. You know, I mean, the title is okay. I don't know if I strictly need to get rid of that, but this bit, it's hard-coded for one. And it's not hooked up to anything, as you can see. It just says level 0. And I can tell you confidently, these guys are not level 0. Hold on. Did I just get a... Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. Just making sure my electricity payments went through, which I imagine they did. Okay. I don't need to check that right now. I will generally just trust in the good spirit of gas and electric bills. Okay. How's that? Oh, actually, I'm the only one who can hear that anyway, because I have my audio output muted for some reason. And quite frankly, I'm kind of enjoying the quiet. I'm not going to turn the music on. I think the silence is actually kind of a nice vibe. Now, I don't know if you know, but I woke up half an hour ago. I'm still not fully awake. But okay, back to this particular drain menu, as it were. Well, let's see. I'm going to have to expand the whole shop, aren't I? Yeah. Okay. How wide should I make it? Let me give a decent bit of... I could make it just double the width of the other bit. I could certainly do that. And then I'll just expand this whole menu, and sadly, because I did not set up my control nodes, I'm going to have to do each element individually. How exciting. Okay. Well, I have the... Okay, that's all fine. I need to make my scroll container a little bigger as well. Yup, there we go. And now... Okay, well, now... Like I said, these bits are all hard-coded. Each entry, so... I'm just gonna get rid of them. Okay, and I'm going to have to dynamically generate a whole bunch of things. You know, that's not the worst thing in the world. It's not by a long shot. You know. I'm gonna see if I can just copy the same layout as what happened up here. Now, is that the best idea? It's better than what it was before. You know, and if I still don't like it, I can change it. That's pretty much what I did with all these upgrades anyway. You know? But in particular, I do like how these look. They're quite compact. These are also hard-coded for what it's worth. So I'm going to probably make it a bit more dynamically generated. So in my script editor, which is not visible on the screen, I'm going to have an extra function to populate the drain menu. There we go. Okay, well, here we have it. And I understand this is the list I have. Okay. Now let me have a think. Let me think about exactly what I'm doing. Well, for those of you who cannot see, which is everybody except me at the moment, I'm looking at the populate drain menu function. And indeed I am thinking, how do I start with this? Well, I'm going to need to, eventually I'm going to have a whole node saved somewhere for each individual entry. But first, I'm just going to need to loop over each unlocked voidling. Now, somewhere is a list of the ones that I've unlocked. Somewhere. Now, how do I find it? There's so many script files. Oh, maybe it's in picojoules. No, it's not. Okay. Unlocked channels. Oh, it is just called unlocked channels. I got it. I found it. Now, I just have to get it in there. So, a little bit of that. Okie doke. Just crash the game. Let's get that back up. Okay. So now we have a nice loop, which again, you may not be able to see. But it's there, somewhere, deep inside this video game. So anyway, now for the relatively interesting part, I suppose, which is where I actually go ahead and, well, create one of these alleged entry things. Let's call it drain entry. I'm going to make this straight into the scene as it is, so I'll be able to see it. Now maybe this will show up. It actually looks like it's not, but that's fine. Oops. Hold on, just pressing buttons. Oh, it doesn't matter. That one's fine. Okay. Now, I actually do have a very small white square. Now it's an orange square. Okay. Now I could make it the same size. Now let me just have a look at what this looks like. I'm going to set the minimum size on this entry thingy. And then I'm going to set this whole thing. Ooh, interesting. What is the size of this scroll container either? So that's 148 pixels wide. So I'm going to make my VBox also. Well, in the minimum size is going to be 148. Now this should at least make sure. Let me just restart, have a look. I don't know if this is going to show up in the actual menu. There you go. Okay, it does. It does. Now it's a little bit off, I think. It looks a little bit off. So, well, it's quite close. And I'm gonna just do one, then I'm gonna duplicate it a whole bunch, and I'm gonna populate the rest of it. Just gonna do one. So I'll call this little thing name, and I'll stick a button or just a label. Just a label. And here's this bit, and just for the sake of testing, I'm gonna stick an alpha into my label. Now, this doesn't show up. Why? Why not? Oh. Actually, yeah, why not? It's possible it is a black font. But that shows up in my editor. Sadly, still not in the actual game. But it's there. Okay. In fact, I wish I should have just taken this font. But, oh well, I guess I will just copy over the colors, and you'll be able to see this in a moment. In just a moment, because there we go, that should be fine. Logically. Here it is. Now would you look at that? Now I think that would look quite good with all of them going down the side. Let's have a look. The next thing I need, in addition to this, is, well, I'm gonna need another one of these panel things, so I'll get to that. I think that would make some sense. So I'm gonna take this. Now I can't, should I move it on top? I could have it like this. Which is gonna be better. Probably, maybe this. Just have it like this. I'll try it out. It's possible. You know? I could just have it like this even, where it goes across the entire width, but if I go too far with that, and it's gonna block out the scroll bar. But I'm gonna have to resize that anyway, so let me just call that one level. Let's copy and paste this label I had, just like that. Now eventually I'm gonna have this say, well, it's gonna say level 0 at the beginning, but when you hover over it, it's gonna, maybe it'll show a picojoule symbol on top of this little letter, and equally it will convert this into the number of picojoules you get, much like in the actual shop, where you can hover over these numbers and it, you know, it shows you. So that might be a good idea. Now I don't know if I can have this be a link button per se, because, well, I need it to be centered. I don't have a good way to center link buttons. No, I probably could center a link button. All I would have to do... Well, I would have to calculate it in code, and that would be kind of annoying. It would be possible. But if there is literally anything I can do in my power to avoid doing that, I think I'll opt for that option, so... There it is anyway. Okay. So let me just take stock of what I've got here. This entry, it's going to need to have a script. I'll take a look at that once it's actually its own instance and everything. So let me just duplicate this a few times. Well, why have you got a massive separation? Look at that. Okay. Let's do one of those, and let's just get a whole bunch of these things. Because I want to see what that scroll bar looks like. Okay. Scroll bar's gone nuts. Hold on. Why are you outside of the... Oh, I know why. It's because I set the minimum size of my VBox to a very high value for some reason. And it simply doesn't need to be. So, let me just restart the whole game again, because I changed something. There we go. Now, interesting. Does that look quite right? Or is it a few pixels off? It actually kind of looks like it is maybe a single pixel off. I gotta tell you, that is not good. Well, it's nothing that I cannot fix with another panel. So I'm gonna get one of these on there. This is gonna be behind the scroll container as well. Now what is the best way to do this? I mean, that won't even help, to be honest. Because the issue is the actual scroll container. This thing is stuck at the top. I don't think there was a good way to create a top margin. I mean, there is also the extremely valid opinion that it doesn't actually matter that much. I mean, it's 1 pixel, but I need to make it perfect. Well, as much as I can. Now, what if I just do this? It looks a little bit worse at the top. I realize because of the video quality, you may not even be able to see that I have actually moved anything, but I have, and now it's... You know what? It's better. And I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom, because it has the exact same issue. And now it almost has like a black border, so that's kind of nice. Good morning, Alex. Good morning to you too. Indeed. I woke up relatively recently, and I have a cup of coffee. And logically, I will feel more awake as the day progresses. That has actually not been the case for any day in the past month, though, so I guess my mileage may vary. But anyway, let me get back to what I was doing. Why is this... Okay, I don't need to worry about that. I got each of these drain entry things, and that's working as it should. So I think the time has come to save this as its own little scene, which again you won't be able to see because I'm not sharing my editor window, but what the hell just happened there? Now, I don't know why, but as soon as I saved this as a scene, it just glitched out like hell. Let me just restart this so that I can try to show you what just happened. Let me just... Yeah, look at this. All I did was save it. Okay. Let me just get one of those and put it back in. Why? It's the exact same thing. What is this? Why has it done this to me? Okay, I'm just gonna have to put everything back into the shape that it was. Is that the right width? It is. The width is preserved, strangely. Well, that's really quite strange. I don't know why that happened. I think that was an actual bug in the editor. And if I was, I guess, a more responsible citizen, maybe I would file a bug report. I could do that later. Maybe it's fixed already. I don't even know. Anything is possible. So this entry, I'm on the script right now for it. It's going to have a name, so I'm going to need a variable for the name. There we go. Let's call it that. And it's going to need a level, and it's going to need, well, I'm going to calculate the number of picojoules you get, so that should work. That should work, okay. So now let me just get the thing to actually set up. Oops. And then that one as well. And all of this should work. I mean, it might. There's no guarantee. But let me try it. So, back in my populate drain menu function, I have this nice little loop. And it is doing what it should. So first of all, I'm just going to create a whole bunch of drain entries. That sounds good. Let's get one of those. I don't know how loud my keyboard is on the stream. I haven't checked, which is strange. You would think that I would. Drain entry. Okay, I found it. Now let's get that list thing. Now all I actually have to do is set the name at the moment. Now I think, I could be wrong, that this should just work. Okay. It doesn't really, but it's very close. Oh, I know why it doesn't. Because I had one in there. So now these are all actually dynamically generated drain entries. Would you look at that? Okay. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. Just thinking. I think the next thing I need to do, well, in fact, I can set the levels as well while I'm at it. Just while I'm at it. In fact, I don't even need this extra variable for the level because it's all stored somewhere in my void singleton. Where is that? Channel scores, I think. Let me try it out. Dot channel scores and index it with this old thing. Okay. Now if I restart this and I regenerate the whole thing, hopefully it should work. There we go. You can see. Why is that a decimal? I'm sorry, but why is that a decimal? You can't have decimal levels. Okay, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll just round it. I'll just round it. Easy solution to a small problem. Let me just restart that one more time. Just to see it as it should be. And hopefully it won't actually affect anything else. But here we go. There we go. Now that's looking a little bit more reasonable. It's not too bad. That's not too bad. Now, let me just stop and have a think. Okay, I think I got it. Well, I got how to start. The beginning. Just the start. I'll have to create this button thing. Now, don't you worry, because this will be invisible. Yup. Default Godot theme and everything. But I'll just set that to be transparent. Now, well, I'm also going to set the mouse mode while I'm at it. That's going to have certain behaviors when you move the mouse, when mouse entered and mouse exited, so I'm going to connect those signals. And obviously, mouse pressed as well. Okay. There we go. So, let me just think. Let me just consider, even. Contemplate and ponder. Interesting. Yes, interesting. Well, regardless, I'm pretty sure I already know what I actually am supposed to be doing. Now, I need to go back and have a look. How did I change the color of that gold button? There we go. It was just this add color override thing. So I'm gonna have to get this label and do that. And likewise, I'm gonna do the exact same thing when the mouse exits, but in reverse. Now that probably isn't gonna do anything until I restart the whole game, so I'm gonna do that now. Now, would you look at that? Just like a real... Let me just move my monitor. I can't get too far away from the microphone, otherwise my voice doesn't get picked up, but also, if I hunch over, I destroy my spine. Okay. Now this is fine. This is fine. Now when you do roll over it, it would be nice for it to display the number of picojoules you will get for it. I think that would be quite good. I mean, it makes sense to me. It indeed, it makes sense to me. So, first of all, I'm just gonna set the actual text to something else. So let's just say 0. And in addition, I want it to show a sprite, or the picojoule sprite, that little lightning bolt thing. I want it to show that on top. Like right here. So right on top. That sounds good. But I want that to be invisible by default. So I'm gonna get that sprite and I'm gonna say, hey, when you mouse entered, make it visible. When the mouse exited, make it invisible. And that's basically what we have. Very good. Now, there we go. Take a look at that. Now that's pretty good, to be honest. What if I add a little unit? That looks worse. I think we can all agree that looks worse. Maybe? I wouldn't say it looks worse. It doesn't look as good. I'm not sure if it's really all that better to have no units at all. Because just having a number there also looks a bit weird. But you know what? I think it looks quite cool. I actually think this is kind of good. I mean, it's okay at least. At the very minimum, it's fine. In the worst case scenario, it's adequate. So you know what? I'm keeping it. Okay. Now the last thing. I have naively decided at this time that all of these will be 10 times their level. Now, particularly astute viewers may realize I said at the beginning they're going to have all different multiplication factors because not all levels are actually equal. So, I'm going to have to make a dictionary. I'm going to call it something like drain factors, drain ratios, drain multipliers. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's just go with that. And then I'll just copy in my list of these guys. So, again, you're not able to see this at the moment, but if you will trust me, you will understand that I am currently coming up with some multiplier values for how much each level should be worth in picojoules for each of these different boiling types. So for the alpha one, I'm going to go for 10. Now what even is beta? Which one is that? Endure waves. Waves, okay. Maybe that's worth a bit more. Let's go 25. What about gamma? Is that power-ups? Yup, that's power-ups. Let's go 12. No, let's go 17. Now delta, total playtime. Let's go 9. Delta. That one actually should be worth quite a lot. So let's go 38. Or maybe 34. Then sigma, who is this one? Do nothing. That one's not as good, to be honest. 16. And lastly, for the moment, we have tau. Now that one could be worth quite a lot. Now basically I'm asking for this one. How many picojoules should you get as a flat rate every time you die in Boiling Assault? I think we're going to have to go quite high with that one. I think we're going to have to go up to 250. I think that's the only thing that makes sense. So now that I've sorted out those multipliers, I'll just do some of that. Oops. On base nil. No. It is. It's telling me it's not defined, but it is. I defined it myself. I just haven't restarted the game. So, there we go. Let's try it again. There we go. So these are... Now, wouldn't it be nice if I had some commas? Wouldn't that be nice? Don't tell me I'm going to have to figure out an algorithm to put commas in my... I mean, it's quite hard to look at without it. Okay. I am going to have to, aren't I? I think it's the only way. So, let's make a new thing. Call it exchange value. Let's stick that in. Okay. So let's say... Oh god. Actual programming? This sucks. Can I iterate over a string? I think I can. I'm gonna try. For I in blah 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 blah. Just test it out, just in case. Yeah, I can. Okay, nice. So let me just do it probably quite stupidly, but in a way that works, and then a way that I can read afterwards. I'll have to have another variable even. There we go. Now, is there a way to append a character to a string at the front? I think there should be. I think there should be. There's like a concatenate or a insert anything, please. Godot Engine, do not fail me now. Well, actually, I can do it. I just have to add them. Now, is there any way I can do a reverse of a string? String reverse, maybe? Backwards, maybe? Please? I gotta work this out now. This is terrible. Well, actually, what about using split? That's what was suggested somewhere. If I use the split function... Okay. I get an array. Okay, so dot split. Okay. String delimiter. What if I just use an empty delimiter? I think that would work. Oops, why is it doing that? Oh, of course that's going to crash as well. I need to go back here. Okay. So okay, that didn't work. That didn't split anything. Surely this is possible. I gotta find a way to do it. What about invert? Does that exist? I see insert, but no invert. Oh, this is dreadful. But you know, I'll figure it out, so I can still iterate through them. I'm gonna have to work out. Oh. God damn. Well, no matter what. Is there somebody who's already figured this out? Modular operator. Somebody's already done it. So I'm going to copy and paste this code right here, live on the air. Right there. Let's fix that indentation because it's using spaces instead of tabs for some reason, even though I'm pretty sure Godot Engine requires tabs anyway. Okay. Comma sep. So let's just try it. So I think this will return a string as well. I mean, it might. There's no way of knowing. I haven't exactly looked at the code. I'm just sort of hoping. Well, there we go. There is now a comma. And quite frankly, it actually, I don't know if it even looks that good. I mean, that was a lot of effort. Though it does make the numbers look bigger, and it's definitely easier to see, so I'm gonna leave it. I think it would make more sense if maybe all of the numbers had commas, but when it's only these, it's a bit strange. But nonetheless, it could be worse. I mean, I don't really have any choice. I'm not going to go through the entire rest of the, well, the whole game in fact, and replace every number with a comma version. No, I'll leave it as it is. And maybe I'll stick some commas up here. Maybe that would be good. That could be good. Actually, that would be good. Hold up. Let me grab this function. Stick it in here as well. I know it's a bad idea to just copy and paste functions. I should have them perfectly accessible from anywhere they are. And yet here we are. So let's change that to comma sep. And then do this one as well. And now we have, that does look worse. Yeah, I don't like it. But what if I added some space? Does that look better? I don't know. There's something weird about this comma in this font. It leaves a lot of empty space. Can't tell if I like it or not. I mean, it's not bad. It's just a bit strange and maybe even inconsistent. That's the thing that confuses me. mean, it does take up a lot of space, doesn't it? The comma is not separated. Or it's not centered, is what I meant to say. Just does not make sense. Well, okay then. I think I've moved on to the very last thing, which I have to do. The very last. Which is to actually add the functionality for what happens when you press this button. Now, there is no confirmation. I'm not going to have a little window that pops up and says, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I'm going to have it just get straight into it, really. So I'm going to say it's going to increase the balance, your picojoule balance, by the exchange value that I calculated earlier. Just going to copy and paste that, no problem. But importantly, it's going to reset the channel score itself, which is, in case you don't realize, the number, or the level. Lord. So let me just have another look. We got all this. I don't want to click it yet, because I realized, in addition to that, I actually need the effect. You know the one. But I can copy and paste it from elsewhere. Is it a gold pickup? No way. That was the wrong one. It was a picojoule pickup. How am I going to get that? Well, I actually already have a... Well, I need to look no further than those tracking chips I implemented earlier, and then just copy and paste from there. So I'll have another value, call it increment, stick it here, then there we go, just a little bit of reorganization. Now I think, there we go, stick that in there, do some of this. I don't know how many layers deep this node is. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm gonna need... Hopefully that works. There's a small possibility that's gonna give me an error or something, but I'm just hoping it doesn't. Now for the moment of truth, which one should I... Probably this one. That was not centered on my mouse, but what do I now? No, that's still not centered on my mouse. How strange. There we go. Now that's centered on my mouse. Perfect. And actually, does this actually give me picojoules? It does indeed. Would you look at that? Now let me take a look at these guys, who I have so heartlessly drained here. Yeah, there we go. You back at giving me just one? Look at that. Just like he was never leveled. Perfect. So, okay. I think that's all I have for now. I'm gonna take a break at least. Thanks for watching.